You've been talking about the consumer for a long time now. You think there's a lot of people drinking $30 glasses of wine at the Post Oak Club or filling up the shops at the Galleria?
No, I think that's exactly what's happening, Brian. I mean, I think there's this people are underestimating the consumer and what that's going to look like going into the next couple quarters. There's so much talk right now about stagflation, that we're not going to have the growth that people are anticipating, but inflation is going to rise. We're just not falling into that camp right now. We think that with the savings rate, even though it's not in the 30% like we saw during the pandemic, but it's still elevated from historical standards. Household balance sheets are strong. There's pent-up demand. We still don't have all the services back. So I think that's going to give us an extra boost, and that consumer is going to continue to drive this economy going forward. I think that's why you're seeing some of the data you just quoted in your RBI about the quits rate happening, especially on the lower end of the pay scale, as those wages are continuing to climb, and that's going to support the consumer.
Yeah, I mean, they're quitting and hopefully finding new jobs that pay more, literally just switching one employer to another, maybe throwing another 10 grand a year in their pocket, money that they can spend. So where are they spending it? If you had to go from a stocks perspective, who do you think are some of the winners here, Victoria?
Yeah, so we actually are making a shift in our portfolio, Brian, from some of those secular growth names that we've liked for the last 18 months. We're not getting rid of those names, we're trimming them, but we're going into some of those more consumer-facing names, especially in this holiday season. We're looking at Target, we're looking at Lululemon, a name even like CVS, as people are out there doing holiday shopping, running errands more, getting more pharmacy-type items. So I think looking at companies that are more consumer facing as a positive, and we've liked MasterCard and Visa for a while. We actually just added to our MasterCard position along with our Capital One Financial. So even though we've seen the yield curve flatten a little bit, with the outlook that we have on the consumer, we think those are all going to be strong names for the next couple quarters.
Wow, we love it. Visa, CVS, kind of a new name there as well. So what are you kind of moving around? If you're adding those, are you trimming anywhere?
We are trimming, and that's the key word. We're trimming. We're not selling out of names completely. So where have we trimmed? Some of those secular growth names, Microsoft, Amazon. I mean, we're not getting rid of them, like I said, and they had good earnings, and so we're able to trim those names. An interesting one we've trimmed is actually Hasbro as well. It's been up about 7.5% in the last month, and we know the supply chain issues that are happening for a lot of these companies. So we took advantage of that and trimmed a little bit of that name as well.
The Grinch trade there ahead of Christmas, selling off trimming a toy maker here. All right, Victoria, on a Mac, we love the trimming. We love the specific ideas. From a macro perspective, you got the Federal Reserve this week. Do you expect any market-moving headlines? Dare I say, the taper? Anything from the Fed this week?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be too market moving. Most of that's probably already priced in. Expectations are that they're going to announce the taper. I think the big news will be whether taper actually starts this month in November or whether that goes to next month in December. Either way, I know it's going to start probably before the end of the year, which means people are really looking at the timing for rate hikes. Futures are saying that could happen in the summer. I'm a little iffy on that. I think we're looking more fourth quarter of next year before we see that. When we get closer to that timeline, that's when I think we'll see more of the market moving, probably not this week.